If you have ever worked with someone who seems negative, rude, cold, or just impossible to talk to, you're not alone. In this video, I'll show you 7 proven steps for handling team members with bad attitudes so that you can stay professional. You can reduce friction, you can avoid letting their behavior affect your performance. You know, when you're trying to be friendly and the other person is just not having it. For example, you say, "Good morning." Nothing. You ask a simple question. You get a one-word answer. You try to include them in the conversation and it feels like you're pulling teeth. I've worked with people like this before, and at first I assumed they didn't like me. Most people would assume this, but I learned that's usually not the most useful assumption. Here's what's actually happening. When someone has a bad attitude at work, most people immediately they make it personal, like they're rude, they don't like me, they're disrespectful. And sometimes, yes, that's true, but a lot of the time, you're seeing the symptom, not the cause. One of the strangest examples I've experienced was actually with an intern. Every interaction felt cold, short answers, no enthusiasm. There was just no effort to engage. There were mornings I would say hello and just get nothing back. Naturally, I assumed he disliked me, but then after his internship ended, he added me on LinkedIn, which shocked me, just confused me entirely. If he disliked me so much, why would he do that? The more I thought about it, the more I realized what I interpreted as arrogance may have actually been insecurity. That changed how I think about difficult people. The first step is simple. Stop assuming their attitude is about you. The moment you make it personal, you stop seeing the situation for what it is. You don't see it clearly. You start reacting emotionally. Emotional reactions, they usually make difficult people even more difficult. Instead, try getting curious. Observe first and interpret later. Most bad attitudes, they have a source. Burnout, stress, insecurity, personal issues. Maybe they feel overlooked or they feel threatened. The goal here isn't to diagnose. The goal is to remind yourself that this behavior rarely appears out of nowhere. Once you stop focusing on the behavior and start looking for the source, your response, it will become much more strategic. Step 3. One mistake people make is matching the energy. If they're cold, I'm cold. If they're rude, I'm rude. Don't do that. Just stay consistent, stay professional, continue saying good morning, continue treating them respectfully, not because they deserve it necessarily, but because your professionalism should not depend on someone else's attitude. Simple as that. A lot of high achieving people, they fall into the trap of trying to win difficult people over. They work harder, they explain more, they try to become more likable. Just stop, 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 stop. Not everyone needs to like you. Some people won't like you. Your goal is effective collaboration, okay? Not universal approval. Step 5, focus on the work. The more difficult someone becomes, the more important it is to just focus on the facts. Focus on the deadlines, responsibilities, deliverables. Keep conversations centered around the work, not personalities, not assumptions, not feelings. Work. This prevents situations from becoming unnecessarily emotional. Step 6, document patterns. Notice I said patterns, not incidents. Everyone has bad days, okay? Everyone can be short occasionally. But if the behavior becomes consistent and you see it starts affecting performance, it affects communication, it even affects team dynamics, you need to start documenting it. Patterns tell the story. One interaction rarely tells the whole story. Step number 7, know when it's not your job to fix it. This is a step most people skip. You are not responsible for fixing another adult. You can be understanding, you can be professional, you can create opportunities for healthy communication, but you cannot force someone to change. Accepting that is incredibly freeing. So, the part that people don't talk about, the people who seem the most intimidating, the most arrogant, the most dismissive, they're often the ones dealing with their own insecurities. Not always, okay, but often. The reason I believe that is because genuinely confident people, they rarely spend their energy trying to make anybody else uncomfortable. They don't need to. Confident people are usually secure enough to be collaborative. That's why I try to remind myself someone else's behavior, it may reveal more about their internal experience than it does about me. If there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this: not every bad attitude is a personal attack. Sometimes it's stress, it can be insecurity, sometimes you'll never gonna fully understand. And it isn't your job to solve it for them. Your job is to remain professional, stay focused on the work, protect your peace, so on and so forth. If this resonated with you, subscribe. I'll keep sharing the workplace lessons and power dynamics most people only learn through experience. One quick final note here. If you're working toward a promotion or you're simply trying to become more strategic in your career, don't forget I have a brand new, it's free promotions readiness scorecard. It's linked down below if you want to check it out. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.